Alright folks, it's March 8th. It is 74 degrees out here. We're going to get into these girls, see if they built up any more in these double brood boxes here, and maybe give us some more pollen patties and definitely give them more sugar water. And we're going to see if we can get some pollen traps on here today. So let's get after it. They definitely are flying today. It's a lot warmer than it has been in the past few inspections. And go through these girls real quick. They've taken about 3/4 of that syrup down. Break this hive box open and see what we have on top here. Smoke them down, let them know I'm coming. Pop this lid open here. Check and make sure the queen's not up here. Just do a quick glance. Take this pollen patty off of here. Get all this paper off. They are definitely going after this pollen patty. Hopefully that means there's a lot of brood in these boxes. Be setting them up to split at the end of this month if they don't tell me beforehand that they need to be split. As you can see, they've eaten about 1/4 of that patty. So that'll be their second pollen patty they've gone through. Smoke these girls down and get started. Up here we got about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 frames of bees. They're working on this top box here. I just gave them this box 2 weeks ago. They're already out here on this outside frame cleaning it up, getting it ready to put honey in. Got some nectar coming in already, probably from the sugar water there. Put these girls on the outside here. I'm gonna stay on this side so y'all can see everything that I'm doing here. Putting in a little pollen. You can see the pollen falling out of this frame here. As you can see, they got pollen and probably sugar water, maybe a little bit of nectar coming in. Looking for the queen as I go. Make sure she's not on these outside frames and make sure I don't squish her. The way they're building up, they'll be ready to split at the end of this month. Got some Caucasian queens on the way. Yeah, they got some larvae in there. See if I can't turn it around where you can see it. Make sure I don't drop it. If I zoom in there, you might be able to see the eggs and larvae on the bottom there. There's a queen cup on the bottom. Make sure they don't have anything put in it. Don't need them making any swarm cells right now. So she's putting some larvae on the outside frames here. Getting them going. A little bit of wind today, so it's kind of hard to get the smoke going in the right direction. Got pollen and eggs on this frame. A lot of pollen and eggs here. So she's brooding up on this frame here. Yeah, a lot of eggs and larvae on this frame. Make sure she's not on here. I don't see her. See some drones. Couple drones on this frame. If you look there in the corner, you can see how the bigger bee walking around on that frame there. That's a drone. With it warming up, they'll be out flying more, collecting more pollen. Hopefully start bringing some nectar in soon. Make sure I don't start plugging them out with sugar water and they don't have any room to lay. Got the frames stuck together with wax. Yeah, a whole sheet of brood here. Make sure she's not on this frame. I'll show you the brood here in a second. Good brood pattern there. Good brood pattern on the other side here. They got pollen around the outside. A little bit of nectar on top. But I don't see the queen on either side of this. Got some brood, drone brood out on the bottom there. Clean that up a little bit so they stop sticking the frames together. Ooh. That's the thing about these plastic frames, they get awfully slick when you move them on top of each other. Try to get some of this wax off of here without squishing any bees. On this video, I'll go through the rest of these hives. I just wanted to slow this first one down just to give y'all insight of what's going on, and then I'll fast forward through the rest of them. But they look like they're brooding up pretty good. Really calm bees. No issues with any what they call banana smell. Usually when you smell artificial banana, that means they're getting after you. It's their swarm pheromone. I mean, not swarm pheromone, their attack pheromone. Continue going through this hive here. So she's laid up eggs all in this frame here. Laid up eggs all in. I don't know if y'all can see it or not. Eggs in those cells. Got emerging brood on this side. As you can see, there's a couple of bees emerging there, trying to work their way out. That bee right there is trying to get out slowly. Basically, they just chew their way out of that wax cell there. So that's 4 frames of eggs and brood. I think I'll have to go back and make sure. I like to keep up with what we have on the top box and bottom box so that I know what we can split with later on. Yeah, on this frame they got pollen coming in, or putting pollen in on this frame. Some food resources. Just cleaning this side up. They're working on it. So looks like top box has 3 to 4 frames of brood. and eggs and larvae. And just check these outside frames here just to see, make sure she's not got anything out here. Yeah, they're just polishing up the cells for her to either lay in or them to put some nectar into. And what I'm going to do with this box is, once I get ready to split, I'm going to take this box, set it off on a different bottom board, and put about 4 frames of brood in here above a queen excluder, and then 3 days later come back and introduce a queen, mated queen. So basically what they got here is just outside frames, polishing them up, moving wax around, trying to clean it up. This box of drawn comb last year was a honey super, so that's why they're having to work so hard to clean everything up. Is cells are a little bit different when you have honey and when you have wax. I mean, when you have brood. Try to clean some of this off of here. I know it's bridge comb for them, but it makes it hard to do an inspection when you gotta pull the frames apart. Try to keep the brood nest as clean as possible. All right, so I'll break this next box here and see if what they have in the second brood box down here. Scoop some of these frames over. Make sure I don't squish any of these bees here on the end. Push these frames back together, get them close as you can. Put these pollen patties back on here, let them work on them. A little bit of pollen patty there. Put this lid back on so I can break this other hive body off of here. Makes it a little easier. See if this come off here. Yep. Make sure I don't squish any bees while I'm at it. All right, so right here, as you can see, got a full box of bees. All 10 frames have bees on them. So we'll smoke them down. Clean these top of the frames here. Get this wax off of here. Try to keep it clean so they make it easier to inspect them. All this wax means they're doing pretty good. See if we can't find the queen in this bottom box here. I try to find the queen every time I do an inspection, but You don't always find them. Sometimes they like to run and hide and move as you pull the frames out, depending on what kind of queen you have, things like that. All right, this outside frame doesn't have anything on it. They're just a few bees on there, not many. Give them a little smoke, make sure they go down. Don't want to squish any of the girls. Got a little resources up there, a little nectar. Make sure the queen's not on this outside frame here. We know we have eggs, so we know we have a queen somewhere in this hive. I'm just trying to make sure that there's no swarm cells or anything like that. Don't need her leaving on me this early in the game. Yeah, they're polishing up that frame. Real calm because it's warm. Got the foragers out collecting. So there's, most of these are nurse bees or maybe some foragers that have come back. Got a little pollen, some drones, little nectar. Nothing on that side. So they're not plugged out with sugar water. That's a good thing. Make sure there's no swarm cells on the bottom here. Queen's not on that frame. Smoke these down. I think we're getting in close into the brood chamber here, or the brood frames here. You can see some drone brood at the top. Might be a pollen frame on this one. Yeah, this frame's full of pollen. Got a little brood mixed in there. Got some nectar and pollen on this side. Show y'all a full frame of pollen there, with a little bit of brood and eggs mixed in. Can already see some drone brood and some cap brood on this next frame here. It's a good sign. Got some bees with some pollen on their legs. So that means they're bringing in pollen. Got a bunch of maples that are blooming right now. Bradford pear trees are blooming. Got a queen cup there. Check that out in just a second. Got some comb down here. It's got some drones in it. Backfilling with some eggs on this brood frame here. Good brood pattern. Check out that queen cup. As you can see, that brood pattern's pretty good. Just wish she wouldn't lay so many drones at the top. I might need to give her a green drone frame. Start doing that this year so that they have somewhere to put the drones. Just checking these queen cups. Nothing in those queen cups, so they're just practicing. I don't see the queen offhand on this one. They got plenty of bees with pollen on their legs. Might start doing some pollen collecting next couple weeks. I don't think I'll start this week and give them all the pollen they can collect to build up. Won't start taking from them just yet. That wind got gusts up to 25 miles an hour, so every now and then it's hard to get that smoke going in the right direction. After this inspection, I'll go ahead and make quick inspections on the next ones. I won't bore y'all with watching all the inspections I do, but I'll stop it if I see anything that I need to show you, kind of like this brood frame that I'm gonna turn around here so I can get a better view of it. Now that is a frame full of brood. Just make sure I'm not dropping a queen anywhere in here. See if she's on this side. I don't see her so far, but she could be hiding somewhere. If y'all seen her, point it out. Say she's on 2 frames ago. Or she may have went up to the top box when I changed to come do an inspection down here. You never know. But that is a sheet of brood. An absolute sheet of brood. Top to bottom, side to side, not much room for pollen. Make sure she's laying up on this side. Back filling with eggs. I may have missed her on another frame somewhere. That's 2 frames of brood in the bottom so far. See if she's on one of these next frames. Very common bees, because normally if you have a hive open this long, they start to get a little frustrated with you getting in there. This will probably be one of the queens that I graphed off of. Speaking of, there she is right there in the corner. She's doing good, looking for a place to lay an egg. Walking around there, tending to her. Try to make sure she goes back up before I put this frame back in, because I don't want to squish her on the bottom there. She's just working that bottom, going back around there. She went to the other side. She's laid up this side, full of brood. Check this queen cup here. Make sure she hadn't laid anything in it. There's a few of them down here. Nothing in that one. Nothing in that one. There's nothing in that one. If you're not careful, they'll hide these queen cups on you. Nothing in that one. Just make sure there's no queen cells. But she's laid that side up. Full of brood. Eggs, larvae, all stages there. See if I can find her back on this side here. She's underneath all these bees. There she is right there, right in the corner. Put her back down in there and get to inspecting the rest of it. Make sure she doesn't get squished there. Got 2 more frames to check out here, see if there's any brood on it, and then I'll run through the rest of these real quick. If there's any videos that y'all would like me to do or to go over, or any questions, just throw them in the comments down there. Yeah, they're dropping off the end of this frame here. Put them back down there. As you can see, if you want to see a bunch of bees go crazy, you just do that right there. That doesn't hurt them. Makes it where you can see full frame of pollen there. On this side, they don't have anything going on that side. So we'll put them back together. Let her get back to work. So that's 1, 2, 3 frames of brood in this bottom part, and 4 frames of brood on the top. So we got a total of 7 frames of brood right now. Over the next few weeks, she'll start laying up more and more eggs. More and more bees will hatch. Have more and more bees to take care of all this brood that she's gonna be laying. But they're doing good. Just going through the, as they say, bee motions. So I'll get this frame back in here, get this other box on top. We'll let them have at it. And I'll go through the rest of these, and I'll stop if I need to show you anything or tell you anything about the hives. And then I'll get back at the end. Appreciate y'all following along with me. My 2nd year beekeeping here. Doing these videos just to help out any new beekeepers and kind of give them a look at what to expect on your 2nd year. I know a lot of people are getting into bees these days. I mean, I even got into chickens. Kind of backwards. Most people do the chickens first. They're a little less, they get a little less agitated when you get into them, but I'll go through the rest of these and let y'all kind of watch what's going on, and I'll get back with you. this one, what's happening is they have very little brood and still have a queen, but I'm going to give them an extra frame of brood, frame of capped brood and some nurse bees, and see if it can't help them build up a little faster. Nothing's wrong as far as the brood goes, but they just aren't building up as fast as they should be. We'll figure out if we can equalize them or not. If frame of brood doesn't help, then we'll just let them go and see what happens. I'm not going to baby them too much. We'll take a frame of brood out of this hive and make sure the queen's not on it, and give it to equalize it to this other hive. See if it helps out or not. If it doesn't, then we'll see if I can't requeen her in April. Now doing this, it won't make these bees fight or anything like that. They'll get along just fine. You swap brood in and out of each one of these, it's not an issue. That frame has more drone brood than it does worker brood, so we won't give them that one. So a frame like this would be perfect. I got all cap brood here. Maybe even, yeah, some emerging brood. Bunch of cap brood on that side. So we'll swap out one of their frames. Make sure it's in the brood here. And these bees won't think anything about it. Boost this colony up. Let's make sure the queen's not on here. And she is, of course. That would have been bad. Let's see if I can't run her down back into the hive. Just give them a different frame of brood. Make sure the queen's right on this next one. Not seeing the queen, so this one will be good to give this hive, give them a boost. See if they can't get going. All right, folks, so I got done with all my inspections and went through all the hives, did a little equalizing, and hope y'all like, subscribe, and watch more of my videos. See you on the next one.